Welcome back to Skegness Raceway, where Chris Burgoyne from Scotland is your 2021 Brisca Formula 2 Stock Cars Champion of the World. Many congratulations to the Scot, his second world title of his career. Now we move on to highlights of the two consolation races tonight. Second lap of consolation number one. It's 544 Will Adams, who took the lead from Jamie Ward-Scott and Andy Bentley in the early stages. Then it was a big wallop straight in for 903 Ben Spence, running over the front of Rebecca Smith's car, sending him flying into the wall. Several more cars bottled up behind. As the race went on, it was Will Adams 544 who led the way until half distance, until West Country-based Blue Grader 302 Dale Moon got the bumper in at turn 3, sending Adams spinning and coming through to take up the lead ahead of Neil Hooper in 676. Inside the F2's mate now. The darkness had fallen here at Skegness Raceway. It's Dale Moon 302 who led home 676. Neil Hooper in the battle of the West Countrymen at the front of consolation number one. In the second consolation, there was plenty of early mayhem. It's the second tangle of the night between Joe Woods and Chris Masters. We saw them tangle up at the start of their heat as well. Into the final lap, it was Blue Grader 905 Rob Mitchell, a world finalist this year, who was leading the way, but old Mr. Box Office himself, John Palmer, caught him on the final bend, put the bumper in, only to send both of them spinning out into the wall. Mitchell tried to recover, but 618 Ben Lockwood said thank you very much, came through and stole the win on the line. Great finish to consolation number two. Dale Moon, the winner of the first consolation ahead of Neil Hooper, with James Ryger taking third, the former world champion, European champion Charlie Ginchard in fourth, ahead of the Thackra brothers, James Riggle and Aaron Vates. Meanwhile, in consolation number two, it was Ben Lockwood on top ahead of Charlie Syme, Paul Rice taking third, and Rob Mitchell recovering for fourth ahead of his assailant John Palmer. Ewan Miller, the Scotsman, in sixth, ahead of world final front row man Andrew Palmer in seventh. We move on then to the meeting final. This is the Alan Benson Memorial Trophy final. Racing over 20 laps, 34 cars on the grid. As we get underway over the 20 lap distance, already plenty of push and shove amongst a huge faction of red tops out there in this one. And they all survived the opening lap. It looks like they've been quite well behaved at the start of races tonight, it has to be said. The Brisca F2s, well done to them, but a bit of a wallop coming here. A couple of cars out into the wall. It's 376, your early race leader Darren Seneschal, but under fire from Ayrton Mills in the number 5. He gets through into the lead. Mills takes it up then, and John Hadfield's in there as well in the 142 car. He gets through on the inside. There's Charlie Syme, second in his consolation, also in there, number 584. On board with Tommy Farrell in 667, getting some bumper as he comes off the turn there. That was Charlie Ginchard, the European champion, number 183, putting the bumper in. His biggest title win in Brisca F2 so far. Matt Stoneman involved in this dice as well, number 127 there we caught a glimpse of on the outside. Luke Wrench going well in the 560, third place in the world this year. Great to see three different nations on the World Championship podium. Earlier on, Scotland, the Netherlands and England. There is the Dutchman Wim Peters in the battle there, number H124. Ayrton Mills under fire from John Hadfield for the lead. They clash wheels there down the straight, and that's given Ayrton Mills a puncture. He slows up and John Hadfield goes into the lead. Burst the tyre. Just caught a glimpse of there on the front end of Ayrton Mills' car. So that'll be his race over. And it is John Hadfield who has gone in the front. Plenty of time for things to change though. Here comes Mickey Brennan. He's not had a great evening so far. Got spun early on in the world final. Attacking Seneschal there. Let's see a white grader in the meeting final on world final night as Neil Hooper gets sent out wide. Sparks flying there off the turn. Neil Hooper down to blue grade these days, and Luke Wrench getting caught up there with Dave Polly. That was the source of the sparks. They've had a bit of a contretemps there. That'll be the end of their race. Luke Wrench trying to carry on. Yeah, it looks like he's escaped that. He's rejoined just in front of the leader, John Hadfield, who's going to stick the bumper in on him. Get out of my way, he says to Luke Wrench. You may be the silver top, but I'm leading this race. With Peters in behind him in H124. We go back on board with Tommy Farrell, 667, wallop into the back of Joe Marquand in 689. They're renewing their battle from earlier on. Ben Lockwood getting involved as well in 618, our second consolation winner. Only just as John Palmer sent Rob Mitchell spinning on the final turn. Spinning out there Daz Seneschal in the 376. Great battle between Marquand and Farrell. West Country rivalry at its finest here. Craig Wallace, number 16, has spun out there as well. In the second half now of this meeting final, still Jonathan Hadfield that leads it, number 142, heading for a heat and final double by the look of things. Marquand again under fire. Also in there 96, that's Jan Beckers, the Belgian driver. So fighting away with Paul Rice, 890 in the West Country battle. West Country against Low Country, you could say there, with Jan Beckers involved, the Belgian. And Peters attacking our race leader, 142 of John Hadfield. Can he dislodge him? Are we going to have a Dutch win? Paul Rice won't win this. He gets spun out and collides. Oh, and the leader getting caught up there with Graham Fegan as a result of that. Peters has come through, and Hadfield's been taken out. He's tangled up there with David Shearing, I think that is. A couple more cars involved. Hadfield tries to get going again. Now he gets clattered by Stoneman. Round goes Hadfield. Oh dear, oh dear. What a complete mess there for John Hadfield. The yellow flags have come out. Now I think the yellows may have come out before Hadfield was taken out there. I think they were out for the incident at the other end of the raceway we saw. We'll confirm that in a moment. It all started when Paul Rice got spun out by James Ryger in the 783. He got hit head on by Graham Fegan, and that took out John Hadfield as Fegan rejoined, but I think we'd already gone yellow. Yes, John Hadfield has been allowed to retake his position at the front of the field. We get back underway. Charlie Ginchard gets spun out straight away, gets clattered by Ollie Skeels in the 124. Attack there for the lead by Harley Burns doesn't work. They're too busy fighting each other for second, and Hadfield's cleared off again. Mark Gibbs in there in 578, down to yellow for the first time in quite a while. Billy Webster in there too in 226. He's going to get on the front end of a whole line of contact there. Oh, complete mess down the back straight. Mark Gibbs hits the wall. Webster's lost about 10 places in there, I think. Goodness gracious. Who's come out of that with second place? It's Harley Burns ahead of Mickey Brennan now. Not for much longer, if I know Mickey Brennan, a very hard-hitting driver. Behind them is Matt Stoneman in the 127. Here's Brennan in with the bumper on Burns. Takes him out into the wall. Matt Stoneman goes underneath them into second place, but John Hadfield's already escaped. He struck lucky, being able to retake his position for the restart after being clobbered from every side as the yellow flags came out. Who's next in the order now? I think it's Rob Mitchell, number 905, normally a shale racer. We're on the last lap now. Hadfield's going to win it, but there's so many cars going for second place here. Even Tommy Farrell's come into the battle now in 667. He's finally shaken off Joe Marquand, and he's up to third behind Matt Stoneman. It's going to be a win for John Hadfield. Stoneman second, Farrell third, Brennan fourth, Mitchell fifth, and the rest of them. A breathless meeting final then. And it's John Hadfield who takes a heat and final double. He wins the Alan Benson Memorial Trophy. Pause for breath and we'll check out the result. John Hadfield the winner by 3.5 seconds. It cleared off ahead of Matt Stoneman, Tommy Farrell, Mickey Brennan, Rob Mitchell, Billy Webster, David Shearing, Mike Phillip, Charlie Ginchard and Jan Beckers, who crossed the line pretty much as quickly as I've just read them out. Brilliant stuff.
Final winner, 142, Jonathan Hadfield. We said earlier on you could do it in the final, and you certainly did.
Yeah, I've got a really good start. I had a lot of quick cars around me, and I just managed to hold it off. Luckily, I got took out under the yellow flag, so I managed to start off on the front. But again, had a little bit of damage, but I managed to make the restart count.
It can work to your advantage, can't it? When you've got so many reds behind you, they're all fighting with each other. I mean, Mickey Brennan was firing everybody in, so I think it helps you if you can get away.
Yeah, that's what I thought it had for. Starting back yellow, I can just get the first few laps out of the way without any damage and sneak under them all, get that gap, and I thought I'd be okay.
And of course, you've won the Alan Benson Memorial Trophy as well, which is like, you know, that's a big thing to win.
Yeah, especially on World Final night, one of the best races of the year. Everyone from all over the country, and the Dutchers and the Irish, all here, so it shows that we have got what it takes to compete with the best. Exactly that. Now get it ready, go out in the Grand National. Yeah, Grand National and hopefully World Final next year win. Well, congratulations. Thank you.
Time for the first of two Grand Nationals. The entry so large tonight, the Grand Nationals have had to be split in half. car not getting away there. 975 Graham Leckie straight onto the centre as we get underway. Will Adams underneath Andy Bentley to take up second place early on. It's Jamie Ward-Scott who's got away in the lead already in 8.81 in this Grand National 1. 280 being taken out there. The yellow graders being sent spinning. Mickey Brennan in the battle once again. His night getting better as it goes on, battling with the 419. That's Ryan Farquhar. Here's the entry tonight. We've had to split the Grand Nationals and the Consolations into two. Great to see so many Brisca F2s here to support this biggest night of the season. Bumpers going in all the way down the order here, and round goes, I think that's Ben Spence into the wall again. The car's gone off there, couldn't quite see who that was. The yellow flags come out with two cars stranded on the back straights. So early chaos in Grand National number 1. And cars stranded on the far side. 96 Jan Beckers was one car to run wide early on, but it was Ben Spence who got spun sideways. He hit the back straight wall. Ahead of them, I think that was Daniel Scrimger, number 236, who also got sent spinning into the wall. Getting ready for the restart then, it's Jamie Ward-Scott, number 881, with the lead, but Ayrton Mills is now on his tail. It's a bit of a shame for Ward-Scott because he had built up a lead prior to the yellow flag there, but that's racing, and Ayrton Mills hits the front. Once again, they're close to a win in one of the heats earlier on, of course. Start to sort themselves out with the higher graders, trying to rise their way through the field. There's 918, that's Shay Fegan. 6-1 Ben Bates, the Flying Brummie. Led a few laps of one of the Consolations earlier on, only to be sent back down the order. Shay Fegan under fire from Jan Beckers. Great to see that the Dutch and Belgian drivers have been able to come over this meeting with all the travel restrictions. Mickey Brennan is on the move. Talking of travelling here, he is certainly travelling up the order. He's up into 4th place now. Lead is with Ayrton Mills, number 5. David Shearing is in 2nd place, number 564, trying to close him down. There's Aaron Bates, 184. Looking to get a little busy with Jan Beckers here in the midfield. 387 getting involved as well as Jason McDonald. Push and shove there, Will Adams in the middle. One of the Smith sisters there, that was Rebecca on the front end of that. I certainly don't recall that two sisters have ever raced together in Brisca F2 before. Aaron Bates under fire from Beckers, Ryan Farquhar behind them, then Shay Fegan. England, Belgium, Scotland, Northern Ireland battling together, but it is still Ayrton Mills who leads in number 5. David Shearing on his tail in 564, looking to get up the inside here into turn 3, and he's done so. Shearing goes into the lead. Are we going to have a blue grade winner? Not if Mickey Brennan's got anything to do with it. He's closing in. There's Rebecca Smith's car spun out on the inside curb. Bit of a baptism of fire for her in her early days in Brisca F2. Multinational battle continues further back down the order. It's Paul Dobson chasing Jason McDonald. It's still David Shearing, 564, who's got the lead. There's Jessica Smith being lapped in the 390. Mickey Brennan is now catching our race leaders. It's bumpering on Ayrton Mills. He's up into 2nd place. Is he going to be in position for a last sped lunge? The leader lapping Andrew Bentley. Oh, he's got caught up with him and does a wheelie there. Goodness me. Into the wall goes David Shearing. Well, there goes his chance of taking the win. Spectacular there, but he hasn't lost too much ground. There's damage to the car, but he's still in 3rd place. He'll try and keep going, David Shearing. Well, he did a wheelie there over the wheels of Andrew Bentley. Thought he was going to go over the fence at one stage there. Goodness gracious. Well, it is Mickey Brennan who's taken the lead as a result of that. Look at the state of David Shearing's car. He's trying to drag it to the line, but it's Mickey Brennan who will come in to win Grand National 1. 2nd place goes to Ayrton Mills. And I think, fair play to David Shearing, he got home in 3rd place. In what's left of the 564 car. Well, superb, spectacular stuff there in Grand National number 1. Former double world champion Mickey Brennan takes the win, leading home Ayrton Mills by 3/4 of a second. David Shearing did get home in 3rd. Well done to him in his damaged car, ahead of Jamie Jones and Jordan Thackeray. And Jan Beckers topped the battle further back ahead of Aaron Bates Ben Bate in 8th place, then Ryan Farquhar and Jason McDonald rounding out the top 10. Final race of the night then, Grand National number 2 gets underway. Slightly smaller field of cars for this one with all that has gone on earlier on. Already some push and shove there. Stevie Burgoyne, 6.74, the younger brother of the world champion Chris. We're on board with Tommy Farrell, finished on the podium in the meeting final, of course. The attack down the straight gets some bumper there. Who was that from? That was Ben Lockwood, and Farrell spins. Look out, 4, 6, 7, 8, and McFerrin just avoids him there. 738 of Joe Woods. He's been involved in a few tangles already tonight. Battling on here, determined to get a decent result. There goes 287. One of the blue graders, that's Luke Beeson. Your early leader is Dale Seneschal Jr., number 379, the white grader. We've seen Dale Senior, 482 in the results tonight. And Darren in 376. 16 of Craig Wallace, the former British champion, spun out in his races earlier on. Looking for better fortune. Beeson under fire from Billy Webster, world final pole sitter. 376, Darren Seneschal there. It's Dale Jr. who leads the way. Dale Jr., famous name in NASCAR, of course. Brad McKinstry coming through in the 747 car. The top Northern Irishman, along with Graham Fegan for many years. Reach almost half distance in this Grand National number 2. A quieter race this time, some of the drivers just winding down. Some of them already celebrating after the World Final, of course. Scotsman with the loudest voices tonight, I would think. 578 Mark Gibbs under fire from Craig Wallace. Down the inside, Wallace looking good here. Is it going to be another win for Scotland? He's up into second there behind Dale Seneschal Jr. He's ready to attack for the lead. Craig Wallace hasn't had a lot of luck so far tonight, looking to turn that round here in the KG Stewart sponsored car. Gets the bumper in, or tries to, on Dale Seneschal Jr. He's going through. And once again we have a Scotsman in the lead. Scottish drivers and teams do seem to take a lot of success here at Skegness. Try saying that when you've had a few. It's Craig Wallace into the lead now. Plenty of Scottish fans here to cheer on their heroes as well. There is Stevie Burgoyne. It's past Luke Beeson, and somebody a bit sideways there, one of the yellow tops. Here's a battle a bit further back, 736 of Josh Weir, NI 467 Aidan McFerrin. Luke Wrench getting the bumper in there on Mark Gibbs, battling with Luke Beeson in the 287. Slightly quieter race this time, but still plenty of bumper work. This is Brisca F2 after all. It certainly will be the Scottish fans doing the singing after this meeting. Stevie Burgoyne gets the bumper in on Ben Lockwood. We have a Scottish world champion, Chris Burgoyne, Stevie's elder brother. And we're going to have a Scottish winner in our last race of the night as well. Number 16, Craig Wallace, is well clear in front. Luke Wrench battling it out in the closing stages with the 527 of James Riggle. Checkered flag will go out this time to number 16, Craig Wallace. He takes the win. Second over the line looks like Brad McKinstry in 747. The rest of the field comes home. We'll confirm the result in a second. Slightly quieter race that time. Well done, Craig Wallace. He takes the win ahead of Brad McKinstry by over 2 seconds. Billy Webster took third, and well done, Dale Seneschal Jr., a fine fourth for the white grader. Stevie Burgoyne fifth ahead of Luke Wrench and James Riggle, and Ben Lockwood, Luke Beeson and Mark Gibbs. Saw them battling. They complete the top 10. Well, that wraps up a wonderful world final night here at the Skegness Raceway. Full credit to everyone involved here at Skegness in Brisca F2 for an excellent world final meeting for 2021, and full credit to all the drivers from the UK and overseas for putting on a brilliant show of stock car racing. That's about all for this show. Many congratulations, world champion Chris Burgoyne. Thanks very much for watching.